And you guys can think on one of it.
You are not.
Okay, everybody take out a white piece of paper, and you will use graphs. So if you have graph paper left over, please use that. It's not good.
Why you ask? If I were to look at you were legit. You were James Bond on the right. Are you not going to call your homie? I won't. I'm killing your ass. My whole hand.
Yes, if you have something on my nose, if you're standing, you're gay. Why are they gonna make it a big deal? If there's something on my nose,
It's
something on my nose.
simulation.
Warning.
There's more. In my eye.
I got some disappointing reports on few individuals in this period. Generally, it was okay, but you know, guys, you got to do what you got to do. Now, I am telling you, I will be gone another week later on in the year. I can't.
I'd rather have.
Anyway, here's where we're starting today. So on a blank piece of paper, now I'm going over, I'm reviewing how to find points. You all should know how to do this, but let's make sure you do. Because if you can't find the points on the graph, you're really confused when they put the graph in front in f of x form, and now you're lost, okay? So, point A, all you do, you always start at the x-axis, and you count, and you always start at the origin. Okay, you know, guys, I know it's 4th period. I know it's before lunch.
Yeah.
You guys should still be
So,
quiet.
you know, let's pay attention. Let's do what we have to do. So you always start at the origin. Now I'm going to count over the x value to get to A. So I go 1, 2, 3. Now I'm there. Now I count up 1, 2, 3, 4. So A is 3, 4. Anybody have questions on this? No. You shouldn't, okay? But if you do, ask. Now I've got to go to B. I start at the origin always. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mr. I think A is wrong. Yeah. It's both negatives. No, it's not. It's not the.
Thank you. Negative 3 positive.
We check.
This one goes over 5. and up 4. Does anybody have a question about how to do that? Okay. Now, the next thing we do is the domain and the range. Guys, here's the easy way to do it. Here's the easy way to remember which one of these is which. Write X, Y. Write that on your paper. X, Y.
Pokemon X and Y.
Now, X comes before Y, so you put the X value before the Y value in coordinate points, right? Okay? What comes first, D or R?
What?
D.
No. Okay.
X's are domains, Y's are ranges. That's all this is. What comes first, I or O?
Okay.
I stands for inputs, O stands for outputs. Outputs are Y values, outputs are ranges, inputs are domains, inputs are X values. So if you want to make a cheat sheet for this when you get to a test where you've got to find domains and ranges, write X, Y, DR. Okay? And now you can't miss it. Excuse me.
As a tiny
You realize one more time this week and it's off to the and all of the videos and all of the lessons and all of the homeworks for last week are in classroom. So this is all you do. Now, the only thing you have to remember when you write the domain in the range, just going to abbreviate domain as a D. So those are the X values. You do not write them in the order in which they go in the table. You put the X, Y values in the same order that they give you the points in the table. Okay? So you don't skip around here. You just put them in the way they gave them to you. All right? But when you write the domain, you have to start with the smallest value. So it's -1, 0, 1, and 2. Any questions on that? Now, the ranges are also in numerical value. So they aren't associated, they're associated with these x's, but not directly. The smallest value is -4, but that has no relationship to -1, because -1, the range is 3. Okay? So you do these in smallest to largest, 3, 4, 5. Now that's all there is to doing this. It's basic, okay? It's not hard, but you got to know what a domain is, you have to know what a range is. And when you list the domain and the range, it's in numerical order from least to greatest. When you fill out the table, it's however they give you the points. You just do it in that order. Go. What? On a separate sheet of paper, answer. So do numbers 1 through 4. So you're going to have to look up here and figure it out. There's spare paper at the front.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, you start at the origin, you work across one way and then up or down. Tell me what the points are, No, don't start with the table. Just start with All right. What's the value for A? Negative 2, 2. B?
1.
No, it's 4, 1.
I got
C?
right.
2, negative 3.
D?
2, negative 2.
No.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, okay, good. Now, everybody write these points. Negative 3, 1, 2, 4, negative 1, 0, 4, negative 4. I'm not waiting on the people that are slow anymore. That was one of the complaints on the survey. That was one of the complaints on the survey. You know, I give you too much time. Once you write the points, label them all X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, and X, Y. And you should do this every time. The reason you do it every time, I'm trying to make it easy. If you just do what I tell you to do, this stuff is really simple. Now make the table. It has 2, 4, it has 5 rows and 2 columns. The heading of the top row is X and Y. Now your next step, fill in the XY table. And do them as pairs. So if the first one is negative 3, 1, you don't go negative 3, then 2, negative 1. You go negative 3, 1. Yes? No. No. Not this part. Okay? To fill in the table, you do it in this order. Okay? Domain and range, you do numerical. But to fill in the table, you do them in the order that they're there. And to answer your question, do you have to do it that way? My answer is no, but for me, you do. And the reason is, I don't want you making a silly mistake because you forget to put one of these in or you get confused or whatever. Okay? So just do them in the order that they're. Yes.
Is negative 3 less than negative 1?
The larger the negative number, the least its value. So now, that's a good question. You fill in the table. It should look like this. Negative 3, 1, 2, 4, negative 1, 0, and 4, negative 4. Now give me the domain. And the domain is which? X or Y? X. Now I start with the least. The least value is negative 3. The next one is negative 1. And it looks like it's 2 and 4. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the range? Negative 4, right?
Negative 4, 1.
No. I'm sorry, you are correct. Negative 4, I was doing the wrong thing. 0, 1, and 4. And you can see these aren't related to the x's above them. Okay, they're just it's separate. Now, go on your graph, graph it. Yep. Well, there's no difference between this and this. I know. No, what I'm saying is, there's no difference between this point and these, so use either one to graph. So I get an x of negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and a y of 1. There's that one. 2, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, 0. This confuses you huge. It's there. It's on the x-axis. And 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what everybody should have. Okay? Now, the only way they can make the domain and the range hard is by giving you the points like they did here, right? Okay? Now, in number 1, what is the domain and what's the range? What's the domain of this graph? Negative 2. No. You do all the domains first. Now you do the ranges. Now, 1, 2. Right? Okay. That's the only way that anybody can even try to make this complicated. It's easy when you have the table. Find each function value. Now, I apologize for this. I think it was the Friday video. I was flipping between 2 different things. I got confused. So, teacher, your guest teacher left me a note, and she was correct. I did goof it up. Okay, so I apologize for that. We're going to go over it again today, so I'll make sure that nobody has any wrong thinking. Okay? But all this means is f of 2. All that means is this. That's all it means. That x is 2. So if x is 2, guess what? This becomes that's all that means. Well, there's another one that's more complicated. That's what this means. Now, this is for you to note and keep in your head. F of x, if I said graph this function, you would graph this. You just replace f of x with y. Now it's in slope-intercept form. The f of x equals x plus 4, that's function form. Notice one thing, because we're going next to where you have to fill in points. If I make f of 0, it means the x value is 0. So y equals 4, the y-intercept. Okay? Which is why we're always going to use 0 when we're filling in points. So the next one, it's the same thing, f of 6. So write this, f of 6 if f of x equals 2x minus 5. Stop. What am I patient? So once you have this, all you do is this. You write 2 blank minus 5. And go through this process. Write it that way. Now just fill in the blank. 2 times 6 is 12 minus 5. 12 minus 5 is 7. That's all you have to do.
7?
These are simple. Any questions on how to do this? I mean, I could do 100 examples and it's all the same. Okay? Now we come to the part you guys get confused on it. Number 10 only. F of x equals x plus 7. Make a blank table that's just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, except make an extra row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, 6 rows. 3 columns. Middle columns relatively wide. I want the red row in. I want a red row. This is missing something that it shouldn't be. Because I'm going to show you how to solve a quadratic. This is how you solve quadratics when you have no idea what to do. You just substitute values. And you use this a lot in L2, you use it all the time in calculus. And you almost always use these 5 values. Like that. That's good. Now, in the x, we have to give this an x value. Okay? So we have to give it the f of x. We can use anything we want. But we use easy numbers because we can use anything. So you use 2 negatives, 0, and 2 positives. Watch. You always do this. So now I have 2 negatives and 2 positives. The reason for this, in quadratics, these things are curved. They're either U's that go like this, upside down, or they're big U's that go like this. Therefore, typically, it falls on both sides of the y-axis. You have some negative values, some positive values. So this is why you use 2 negatives, 2 positives, and the 0 value is where the thing, it's the point on the y-axis where the thing changes its direction. It goes back up or back down. So now we just substitute. Blank plus 7 is negative 2. Which gives you an f of x of 5. Now, once again, negative 1 plus 7 is 6. Yes, Angel. Well, I don't know. What do you yeah. And then what's and there you are. Now.
Wait, you multiplied the 2 and the 7?
No.
What was the
This parentheses is a blank. That's what I mean by this.
Oh.
Okay, so you filled in the blank. Okay? So I'm saying it's blank plus 7, blank plus 7. Just fill in the blank.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see what you meant. I was missing the positive sign. Right? Okay, very good. All right. And you got me. That would have been a mistake. Now, what is the range of this? What's the range? Yeah, it's right in order. And by the way, what's the domain?
Oh my god. Oh my god, you all are so good.
Next. F of x.
Yes, it is.
When x equals 13, I want the extra. Oh. By the way, I told everybody, second semester, fresh start for you, because there's nobody that can't do this work. I mean, if you can't do this work, I can't help you. It gets complicated, it gets more complicated next week. Yeah. So far, yeah, I haven't entered anything. It's going to take me at least a week and a half. What are the x values we fill in?
-2.
Yep, it's always the same.
Unless it's already there.
Yeah, unless they give you values. Yeah. But in college and in high school, they won't. And by the way, there is another variable. You have x, y, z. That's a three-dimensional graph.
Yes.
So you do the same thing with x's, y's, and z's, okay? To build the three-dimensional shape. So this one turns into blank minus 13. But it's very good. A lot of people make mistakes on that one. Okay,
Oh, I thought it was -11.
-1 minus 13 is 0 minus 13 is. Now you got to be careful. 1 minus 13 is. Very good. And 2 minus 13.
Do it. -11. 11. -1.
Okay. I don't know about you, but that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
All you got to do is do the calculation, but the key to this, you must be precise. Have to attend a precision on it. Because you saw it was easy for me to make a mistake. Okay, Gotta be careful. Another function. This one's more complicated.
What is it? Velocity?
Well, let's go. Down. First table, f of x equals 2x minus 3. Now, if they told you to graph this, here's what you would do. It would start at -3 on the y-axis, go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Okay? So that's how you convert it into a graphing form. Same thing. The new values are what they always are. Now, on today's quiz, I think there's one where you have to fill in a table on something. I want you to use those 5. Start -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay? Leave out the -2. Now, this is more complex. Very good. 2 times -2 is -4. -4, -3 is 7. Now we have 2 times -1 minus 3. 2 times -1 minus 3 is -2. Minus 3 is -5. Excuse me, I have no idea why you two are paying attention and you're screwing around. No clue. 2 times 0 minus 3 is just -3. 2 times 1 minus 3 is -1. 2 times 2 minus 3 is positive. And notice, these values are all increasing by 2. They have to because look what the slope is. The slope says it's got changed by 2. That's how you do this. Okay? Next one is the last one. Next one. No.
All right.
Is this yours? Is this yours? Is it wrong? When did you get it? No, I eat it.
You won't. You guys stop. You won't.
It's bologna. There's just bologna on the floor.
Why is there bologna on the floor?
I got bologna. It's bologna.
Here's where you guys get hugely confused. You better figure this out. This is on the test you're taking next. The red graph is y equals -1 4 x. There is no y-intercept stated. So when that happens, write the equation this way because I think it'll help you. Y equals 1/4 x plus 0. Right? These always start at the origin. So you start here. You count down 1 over 4, down 1 over 4. You end up there. If you go down 1 over 4, you can go up 1, back 4, up 1, back 4. There's your red line. That's the equation y equals negative 1/4 x. Now the same thing happens with y equals 4x. If I were you, I would go like this to remind you what happened. It starts at 0. So it starts at the origin. You just go up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. This means you can go down 4, back 1, down 4, back 1. It's the blue line. These two lines must be perpendicular because the slope, it's a negative reciprocal of the other one. So the opposite of negative, the reciprocal of negative 1/4 is positive 4 over 1, which is what 4x is. Okay? Now, when I pass off the test, I need you to go to question number 3 and number it the way I have it.
Give me that bologna. Give me that bologna.
Eat it.
Yes, you Hey,
What's so wrong with bologna?
Mati, pass it here.
No. I don't know.
Pass it the other way.
Yeah? He said today. What's wrong with
Smells so bad.
That's today.
It smells so bad. I want to go back.
Give me.
Whoa, Dylan. I know you're crying. You'll be crying before the fight.
Class.
Yes.
No, I have one.
Everybody, class.
Yes. Yo,
Now, everybody, look at question. Everybody, look at question 3. Now, the only way you can graph the result from table number 2, which is what you're supposed to do, okay? The only way you can do it is you have to label it like this. So number 1 is 30. I don't know why that one went off. Number 1 is 30. Number 2 has a value of 35. 3 is 40. 4 is 45. 5 is 50. 6 is 55. 7 is 60. And 8 is 65.
wait a minute. Wait. It goes 65, 60.
You are how based on the graph that's there. Okay? If you count each one of those things as 1, how are you going to graph 78? You can't. Where's the 78 of y on that thing? You can't find it. Okay? This graph. Yeah. So the y-axis on this one, it goes from 0 to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That way you'll be able to build a graph. The x's are the same. 1, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Okay.
Chill.
No.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. We're going, all right.
Oh my.
You don't have to draw a line. Just got. You can't really draw it well because there's too much of a gap. You know what I mean? You only have 10 minutes. Just go off the table. You don't understand what one's asking for, two's asking. Okay. Test is your ticket out.
Yeah.
Okay, you go. Where does that get? This one? Do you go down? Do you go down? I'm not done with 5, but yeah.
I got 8, the same exact thing.
5?
Yeah.
7 and 8?
Yeah, I got 6. It actually really wasn't that hard.
Test is your ticket out.
You're better.